We're going to ask a question that almost everyone has heard before, but very few people have ever slowed down enough to really think about: who wrote Genesis? Most of us were taught a simple answer growing up. Genesis was written by Moses. Case closed, question answered. But when you actually read Genesis carefully, slowly, honestly, something interesting happens. The text itself starts asking questions back. Genesis describes events that take place long before Moses is born. Creation, Adam and Eve, Noah, Abraham, generations upon generations of people and places, conversations and family disputes, private moments and internal thoughts. And it doesn't just describe them, it describes them in detail. So the question isn't disrespectful, it isn't rebellious, it's actually very human. How does anyone know all of this? For thousands of years, Jewish and Christian tradition has held that Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, often called the Torah or the Pentateuch, and that belief didn't come out of nowhere. Moses is portrayed as a central leader, lawgiver, and prophet, someone who speaks directly with God. If anyone could write sacred history, surely it would be him. But tradition and authorship are not always the same thing. When scholars, historians, and even many faithful believers began studying the text more closely, they noticed something fascinating. Genesis sometimes tells the same story more than once, but from slightly different angles. Sometimes God is referred to by different names. Sometimes details repeat, overlap, or even appear to conflict in small ways. That doesn't mean the text is false. It means it's layered. Imagine a people without printing presses, without bookshelves, without digital storage. History was preserved through memory, storytelling, and oral tradition. Stories were passed down around fires, within families, across generations. They were repeated because repetition was how truth survived. So it's very possible, even likely, that Genesis existed in pieces long before it existed as a book. Ancient family records, tribal origin stories, genealogies, songs, legal traditions, creation poems, flood narratives, covenant promises, all carefully guarded and faithfully transmitted. Then comes Moses. Rather than imagining Moses sitting alone, inventing Genesis from nothing, many scholars suggest a different picture. Moses as a compiler, a collector, an editor, a steward of sacred memory, someone who gathered what his people already knew, organizing it into a unified story under divine guidance. And here's where it gets interesting. Genesis doesn't actually claim, anywhere in the text, "I, Moses, wrote this." That assumption comes from later tradition, not from a self-signature inside the book. In fact, the final verses of Deuteronomy, traditionally attributed to Moses, describe Moses' death, which strongly suggests that at least some editing happened after his lifetime. Again, this doesn't weaken the text, it deepens it, because the Bible was never meant to function like a modern textbook. It's a living record of God interacting with real people across real time, and living records grow. Many modern scholars talk about something called source traditions, different streams of storytelling that were eventually woven together, not as a conspiracy, not as deception, but as preservation, like stitching together a family quilt from pieces that each carry meaning. And if that makes you uncomfortable, pause for a moment and ask why. Is our faith in God, or in a specific theory of authorship? Because here's the deeper question beneath: who wrote Genesis? Why was Genesis written? Genesis isn't primarily trying to answer scientific questions, it's answering human ones. Who are we? Why is the world broken? Why do humans wrestle with good and evil? Why does God keep choosing flawed people? Why does hope survive even after failure? Those questions mattered to ancient Israel just as much as they matter now. Genesis tells us that existence is not an accident, that humanity is made with intention, that brokenness enters the world, but so does promise. Over and over again, Genesis shows a pattern: creation, fracture, mercy, covenant. And that message survives no matter how the book came together. Whether Moses wrote every word himself, whether he edited earlier traditions, whether later scribes refined language while preserving meaning. The power of Genesis doesn't come from a pen, it comes from the truth it carries. In fact, seeing Genesis as a carefully preserved, community-held memory may actually make it more beautiful. It means generation after generation believed this story was worth protecting, worth remembering, worth passing on, and that's something we rarely talk about. We live in an age obsessed with authorship. We want a name, a date, a signature, but ancient people cared more about faithfulness than footnotes, more about truth than attribution. So maybe the better question isn't who wrote Genesis. Maybe the better question is, why has Genesis endured? Why does a book written thousands of years ago still provoke debate, awe, discomfort, and wonder? Why are we still talking about it? Perhaps because Genesis isn't just about the beginning of the world. It's about the beginning of understanding who we are in relation to God. And that question is still unfolding. So now I'll leave it with you. Do you think Moses wrote Genesis word for word? Do you think he compiled older traditions? Or do you think the question itself misses the point? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I actually want to read them. If this made you think differently about the Bible, hit that like button so more people see it. And if you enjoy deep, honest questions about Scripture, then subscribe to our channel. Because we're all about understanding faith, not avoiding hard conversations. The next video builds on this question, and it gets even more interesting.